How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the unfortunate turn of events in the case of Mollie Tibbetts. Many of you have seen her on the news over the past few days and weeks, and if not, I'll place a picture of her on the screen before you. She had been missing from the University of Iowa since, I think, July 28th, or right around that time. Her father has been on television a lot, giving interviews, showing her picture in hopes that somebody would come forward, somebody would have some information about her whereabouts. Maybe she had run away, maybe she was not hurt, and it was a possibility that she would come home safe. Unfortunately, that is not what happened. Her body has been discovered on a corn farm covered in corn stalks to hide her. Now, this is where the story kind of goes into a different direction. It kind of diverges away from Mollie a little bit, but I don't want this next part of the video to obfuscate what happened, because somebody lost their daughter, somebody lost their friend, somebody lost somebody that meant a lot to them. So I want to say rest in peace to Mollie Tibbetts, and my prayers go out to the family and friends of Mollie. But we need to talk about this bigger issue here, because once we address this bigger issue, maybe there will be less cases like Mollie, and this could have prevented her actual death. The person who has confessed to Mollie Tibbetts' murder is an illegal immigrant, 24-year-old male named Cristhian Rivera. All right. There's a confession. There's videotape of him with her right around the time she disappeared. So this is the guy. Matter of fact, the chain of events he described in his confession led the police to her body. He said that he saw her jogging and he was driving behind her. He starts to follow her. At a certain point, he gets out of his vehicle and runs beside her. She pulls out her phone and says, "Hey, I'm going to call the police," because obviously she feels threatened. At that point, he says he panics. And the next thing he knows, he discovers her bloody in his trunk. He goes into the trunk, retrieves her body, and then hides her on the cornfield and covers her with the corn to hide her body. Now, that chain of events was what the police used to actually retrieve her body. So this guy did it. It's just a matter of how long is he going to get in jail? 15 years, 20 years, death penalty, whatever it is. That's going to be the next step here. And I can assure you, in Iowa, illegal immigrant killing innocent girl, it's going to be a wrap. You're pretty much done. Now, some of you, when you hear illegal immigrant, he worked on the farm as a farmhand for like a long time. I'm not quite sure how long, but he had been here illegally for 7 years. I'm not quite sure how long he had been at that farm. Well, once you hear those things, you may think whoever owned the farm must be held accountable for what happened here, because they should have known better than to have an illegal immigrant working for them, right? If you prosecute whoever had the farm, then this guy would not have been able to be there to do the act. Well, let's pause for a minute. This guy actually passed E-Verify. Okay, the owners of the farm, I think it's called Yarrabee Farms, they said that they put him through E-Verify. So obviously there was a ball drop somewhere by the federal government, local government, or whatever it is. All right, so let's not blame the farm owners, because I know that's going to come up. People are going to talk about the owner of the land, potentially Dane Lang. He is a Republican and ran for office as the Secretary of Agriculture. So people are going to bring that up. They say, oh, these Republicans just want this cheap labor that comes from south of the border. They don't care if they're legal or illegal. No, he passed E-Verify, which brings me to my next point, which is the fact that we need the wall. If there was a wall in place, then this could have been prevented. All right, because we all know how efficient government is not. When you rely upon the government to have these systems in place to make sure that people that should not be here illegally aren't here, obviously you're going to have times where it fails, where it doesn't work as intended, which is what happened here in the case of Mollie Tibbetts. This guy, Rivera, should not have been here at all, but he passed E-Verify. He was able to live 7 years and not ever be deported. How did that happen? The owners of the farm said he was in good standing. It wasn't a problem. But here's the issue. We don't know what kind of life he had before coming to America. We don't know if he was engaged in any kind of crime before he came to America. And we don't know if there has been any other crimes that have happened, because that could be the case. Are there any other missing women in Iowa? We know about Mollie Tibbetts because it got a lot of attention. All right. But is there anyone else that's missing? Did he live anywhere else before Iowa? Did he commit crimes there? And this is what Trump was talking about when he said Mexico is not sending us their best, because this guy did come from Mexico. They have doctors, they have lawyers, they have chemists, they have academia people. They don't send us those people en masse. What we get are those that have issues. You know, people that have mental disorders, people that are criminals, people that Mexico does not want to deal with. We also get illegal immigrants that come from Mexico. A lot of people come to Mexico in hopes of coming to America. They try to come through the southern border because they know it's porous. Matter of fact, I think they caught 400,000 people from 150 different countries. They even caught a Canadian at the southern border. So people know that that particular area right there is soft. It's easy to go through, which is why you need the wall. With the wall, you're not going to totally eliminate illegal immigration, because people come on visas on a plane and they overstay. Things like that happen, but you need to have a lot of different deterrents from being able to get into the country illegally. Crack down on the amount of visas that are given out. Follow up with people that are here that have a visa. Make sure they renew. Build the wall. Have more security at the border so you lessen the ability of a person to come through on foot and a truck under the wheel well or whatever it is. Have more security on our borders and in the air, and maybe there will be less Mollie Tibbetts out there in the world. Like I said, rest in peace to Mollie Tibbetts, and prayers go out to her family. I didn't intend to make this be like a pro-wall thing, but this is just a logical solution to this problem. All right. Have tighter security. Guys like this would not be able to come into the country if security were tighter. And don't rely upon bureaucratic measures to solve the problem. You say you want to arrest people that have illegal immigrants. Well, are you going to arrest the farmhands here who had an illegal immigrant but passed the E-Verify system? And at a certain point, you got to catch these owners doing a thing that's wrong in order to convict them. Meanwhile, the people that are here illegally are still going to stay. So you need the wall. You need more security. You need to protect the country away from violent animals like this guy, like the guy who killed Jamil Shaw Jr. in California, like the guy who killed Kate Stein. Like, I can go on and on and on. This is just yet another example of why we got to have strong borders in our country. If you don't want strong borders, you have to ask yourself, do you want safety? Do you want to see more Mollie Tibbetts, Kate Stanleys, Jamil Shaw Jr.'s? Is that what you want? I know I don't, but what say you? Do you think that this could have been avoided if for the wall? Like I said, E-Verify failed. The farm owners, they don't know. I mean, they're relying upon the government. How do they know this guy is illegal if he came through the system and he came back legal? How are they going to know what's going on? You have no idea. You know that he's Hispanic and he might not speak very good English, maybe, but obviously the government failed in this case. Do you think that what I'm saying here is racist, is wrong, and we need to welcome everybody that comes here? And, just because a person that is here illegally killed somebody does not mean they're the only ones that do it. I would never say that. I know that illegal immigrants aren't the only ones that commit crime. You have a lot of crime here just from regular Americans, which is the point. We have a problem with crime already. Why would we import more people who may or may not commit crime? All right. Go through the legal immigration process. That way we can vet you to see what's going on to prevent you from coming over here and committing a heinous offense. I'm not saying that would be a panacea, far from it, but it'd be much better than just having any old Tom, Dick, and Harry float across the border and do whatever they want to do under the radar, off the grid. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.